You know, I've heard Joe Rogan sometimes refer to people as jiu-jitsu assassins or even nerd assassins in the best way possible. I get that vibe here.
I believe Kurtis likes actually hurting people. He's a psychopath nerd.
A slim, unassuming physique, and then partner that with, you know, the little pink shorts, the top knot, and then after the fight, he puts the glasses on.
He was always a standout kid with the way he has his hair, his glasses.
People don't remember his name the first time, because who does? Like, there's 40 fighters on a card. But what they do remember is, it's the guy in the little pink shorts and the top knot.
He's not a physical person, right? But if he gets hold of you, you realise, like, oh my God.
It's very content. Oh, stiff jab. Already sits him down. Oh my God.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Whoa.
Mixing things up now. Another cut.
Oh.
Does he make it look so easy?
Still untested. Kurtis Campbell. No one has been able to test this man throughout his entire pro career. Now 7-0. So one of the things I've been really passionate about since starting this channel, what is it, almost 8 years ago now, is showcasing new talent. You see that at the beginning of every year with my prospect series, or we've done Caposa's Corner when we still had Fight Front, and a bunch of different things that we've done over the years to highlight new talents. Or how about a series that's long been needing a return, and that is OP Prospects. Shout out to PT Carroll. It was a series that highlighted guys like Ian Gary before he went to the UFC, Muhammad Makayev. I know that ended a little weird with him, but he's still undefeated, so there's that. Rug before he became the one heavyweight champion. And then there's Daniel Zellhuber, who's also another standout in the UFC. So that's a massive shout out to PT Carroll, who did that series, and I've got his blessing to bring this one back. And for those that don't know, I currently live in the UK, and for the past 3 years now, which is kind of crazy, I've been doing commentary for a promotion called Full Contact Contender, based in the northwest of England, usually around Liverpool or Bolton, Manchester areas where they put on their fights. And I actually do the fight commentary alongside Alex, or Balian as you guys know him here on the channel. And so I realized a lot of people are asking, who is FCC? Well, they're the guys that gave Paddy Pimblett his first opportunity. He became a champion there first before Cage Warriors. Lerone Murphy went direct to the UFC from Full Contact Contender. You have guys like Tom Aspinall, who fought there and was a champion there. There's so many people that have come through, Brendan Loughnane, like Paul Craig. The list goes on and on and on for top level, world-class level talents. And that's headed up by Adam Tay and Molly Cooley, who run the promotion. And so today, who I want to highlight is a thriving, undefeated star with an incredibly impressive win streak that is debuting on the Contender Series this Tuesday. His name is Kurtis Campbell. So I've taken the time to travel up from London to Liverpool with Alex, our good friend George, who you might know from his edits on the channel, to sit down and speak with Kurtis himself, his coaches, the FCC owners, and even Alex himself, all to give you an idea of who this man is and why there is so much hype around him. So you guys know me, I'm Jason from MMA On Point, and this is OP Prospects, the Pink Panther, Kurtis Campbell. I just want to give a real quick disclaimer on this one. This is in no way sponsored by FCC or anybody else. This is definitely just something I wanted to do. I wanted to highlight Kurtis Campbell because I think he's super legit as a talent. And yeah, I paid for all this out of my own dime. There's no sponsorships of any kind involved in this. So I'm doing this because I think he's a great fighter. And that's the end of it. And so then you have to ask, well, what is so impressive about this guy? Well, really all you have to do is take a look at his record and how impressive it's been. From an amateur perspective and winning so many world titles to becoming a pro and being undefeated. And we'll take a look at that in more detail, but it's also about his diverse coaching staff, which of course starts with his father, Jay Campbell.
You all right, Jay? I think we've had every promotion coming for Kurt across the world, and you know, there's only one place where he wants to be.
And so the gym that he started, KC Fight Base, was with a striking coach in Kyle Keane. Consider him the wild man for sure of the bunch.
That's my downfall. Women and partying. I remember we've got a video of FCC coming to interview you about me. And he's in the background little fat kid who's doing all flying, spinning kicks and all that. And we were saying, this is Kurtis Campbell. One day, he's going to be here doing this. Like, he's far better than me. Like, he's going to be the boy one day.
Of course, he's fought a ton in not just MMA with FCC, but also Muay Thai fights. And then there are 2 separate gyms with Liverpool Combat Academy headed up by Lawrence Fitzpatrick, or Laws as he's known, who's been around since the Wolfslayer days, like with Michael Bisping, like Super OG, and Team Calbon. Basically 2 of the most historically stacked gyms, especially in that part of the country in the UK's history. So Liverpool Combat Academy is Laws's gym, one that they actually have a pretty unique nickname for.
Liverpool, Dagestan. No, we're not over there. We prefer Liverpool, so it's Liverpool to us.
His dad, Jay, he brought him the gym around, I think he was 14. Like, his grappling, his mindset, his ability to focus and learn, the ability to innovate on his own. But the small details, what he does, that's what makes him so good.
And then there is Jason Tan, a former UFC fighter from back in the 2000s when the UK was still just taking off internationally with the likes of Michael Bisping getting on to Tough in 2006. Jason Tan was there in the UFC during that time. He also runs his own gym called the MMA Academy in Liverpool, and between these 3 gyms, this is where Kurtis Campbell has honed his craft.
For me, with the other coaches, it was just more of a natural progression for everyone to fall into place. Loz took over the wrestling side of things, and then when you got the likes of Kyle striking, and then to top it off, you got the cherry on the cake with Jason Tan. He brings peaceful harmony into the coaches. It sounds mad when Jason talks, you listen.
And we got to talk about the look, right? The pink shorts, all of that. It's the elephant in the room. What's the deal with the nickname and all that too?
2021, I started, I first fought in the pink shorts just as a day. I think I was sitting in the back garden on a summer's day with my dad, and we were looking for a pair of fight shorts, and there was a nice pink pair, and I sort of just, my dad said to me, bet you won't wear them.
It sounds like a dare, Harry.
It's a double dare.
I was fighting for my first featherweight title, and I was on a podcast, and one of the lads said, I think I've got your name.
I would have called him the Pink Panther.
From there, I sort of just changed my top from black to pink and just went straight for the brand.
So yeah, all the background stuff aside, Kurtis Campbell's record is super legit. Here's how Adam, the president and founder of FCC, remembers booking him back in 2021 when Kurtis was still just 19 years old, fighting in the promotion for the first time.
The first time I'd heard about Kurtis was through either his coach Carl Keane or his dad Jason. And again, like most fathers, they'll come to you say, oh, my kid's mustard, he's going to be the next big thing, wait till you see him. We got him booked on against Steph Murray. We say when you actually see these guys square off, Steph Murray's like a bit of a physical specimen.
As I say, I kind of came in like fully kind of committed a little bit later than Kurtis did, to be fair. And I remember watching the fight like in the arena with a couple of my colleagues from work. I was like, no way, like the other guy like just like shredded, looks like an absolute athlete.
Steph was an absolute unit. He was shredded, so everyone sort of thought, well, this kid with glasses is going to get sort of ragdolled. Total opposite happened.
He's wobbled. Campbell looking to pounce here. Murray trying to escape, gets his back to the cage. Referee's going to keep an eye on that fence.
Off that, he's going to be so motivating. You can see, look at that scramble.
It's all Kurtis Campbell in terms of racking up offensive points. Kurtis Campbell turning up the tempo here.
Yeah, so any of us longtime MMA fans know appearances mean next to nothing. Meanwhile, Kurtis was winning championships all over the UK, including for UKFC in 2 weight classes at bantamweight and featherweight. And crazy enough, the next time we saw Kurtis Campbell fight in the FCC cage, he was fighting another big UK standout in Teddy Stringer, who you might recognize as a Cage Warrior standout. But this time, this was for a 3rd divisional belt at lightweight. Meaning now, if he could win this championship too, he'd be a belt holder at bantamweight, featherweight, and now lightweight.
Teddy's legit. Teddy is legit. A great prospect for Cage Warriors. You know where he's all going. He's going to end up in the UFC.
Both me and Teddy knew I was better.
Why can't we have 2 of the... Oh, nice. Lovely. That front teep landed and that straight.
Low kick there from Stringer. Oh,
nice.
And now dumped down to get... Oh, Crucifixes the arm. But Teddy is as tough as nails. Threaten with whatever I can. Oh, yeah. 3 titles in 3 different weight classes in 6 months. Good God, what's going to stop Kurtis Campbell?
This wasn't one and done either. Kurtis Campbell went to another promotion in Almighty Fighting Championships and won yet another lightweight title over the then undefeated Kyle Jones. And so yeah, when Kurtis went back to FCC in June of 2022, he was already a title holder in those 3 separate weight classes, but there was one more belt he had to get. It was up against a uniquely formidable opponent from Poland in Milos Kruk.
I started doing full contact contender commentary, FCC 28. And then the first show back after that, 29, I met Kurtis Campbell for the first time. Me kind of being new to commentary as well, you know, I'm trying to pick up all the details I can. I'm trying to learn all the names on the scene, but it was clear that everyone, when they talked about Kurtis Campbell, they talked about him differently. There was a different level of excitement. There was a different level of hype behind his name already.
The Crow opposite him, ready to go. And what a title fight we have for you right now.
Yeah, so he was the #1 amateur in Poland. As you were saying, actually, Poland, like their national sports, MMA, so the level is really, really high.
You know, he's a solid, legit, as they come, fighter. You know, I mean, Milos was a big, strong guy.
I knew what that fight was going to bring. I knew he was different. And I saw the size and I thought, oh, this is going to actually be a little tricky challenge, this. You know, he's coming to fight.
We were all in for an all-out war, or so we thought.
Milos Kruk in the red corner. The Pink Panther, Kurtis Campbell. Oh, nice front leg teep. Oh, lovely catch. So I'm loving this back and forth right now, the strength battle between the 2 men. But now,
This could be at 10 seconds left.
Trying to show some invincibility.
Wow, final seconds. 5 titles now to his name. Undoubtedly the #1 amateur in Europe.
This was for the best amateur featherweight in Europe. In Europe, no joke.
And this was the high note that Kurtis ended his amateur career on. The amateur scene threw everything they could at him, and he just dominated all throughout. It was time to go pro. And coincidentally, this is when I was invited to start doing commentary for the promotion. I had already been paying attention since Balian or Alex was a part of their commentary team. And needless to say, walking into a promotion in a country that I'm not from, in a part of the country that I don't live in, man, it was pretty tough to learn about all the fighters on the card on UFC Fight Pass. They weren't on Fight Pass before that. This was their first one. And of course, they're only the 2nd promotion in the UK to be on the platform. It's a pretty big deal for developing talents in the region.
You know, Full Contact Contender is a family-run business, and we've been operating for over 10 years. So to finally be getting the recognition on MMA's biggest platform in the world is just dream come true stuff for us.
So suffice to say, this was a massive deal for everybody involved, but there was one fight that did stand out, and of course it was Kurtis Campbell's pro debut. And he did not disappoint.
Kurtis the Pink Panther Campbell finally making his pro debut tonight, and we get to call the fight, Jason.
There was a little bit more nerves just because it was first time it's pro and put a performance on, especially it being on UFC Fight Pass. You know, it's back to the 0-0, but I knew it was time to shine.
Everyone looks at him like, oh, it's Kurtis, like, with these glasses on. I can watch when he takes them.
Red corner, black shorts, nice outside leg kick to get us started here by Kurtis. Stiff jab as well. No takedown attempts at all. Kurtis very content. Oh, stiff jab. Already sits him down. Oh my God. Just covering up already. And that's it. I don't think he wants any more. There we go.
Wow. He'd return again in June of 2023 and make easy work in a sophomore effort as well.
Kicking off. Massive right leg straight to the liver.
Total domination from beginning to end. So the Pink Panther was already being highlighted by the UFC at this point as a real fighter to watch. Things were riding high, but then came an incredibly risky top-tier opponent out of nowhere.
The first fight that I matched for Kurtis was a guy called Sean Perro. I was so excited to match this fight. Like, I remember being on like the phone to Jay at work, and I was like obviously explaining who this guy was, and I'm like, I think this is great. And initially, like, Jay was immediately interested, so I was like, oh, brilliant, because Kurtis is 2-0, Sean's 5-0, and he's not just 5-0, but he's training with some of the best guys in the world.
Of course, Extreme Couture has a huge name in the MMA world that cannot be understated. Obviously, the founder being Randy Couture himself, but what Eric Nixick and Dewey Cooper and the whole staff have done there with their talents is truly world class. So Sean Perro being a 5-0 prospect out of that gym, and Kurtis still being just 2-0 with a relatively small fight camp called KC Fight Base that the world certainly doesn't know on a world stage, it was fair to say that this was a massive step up.
I remember specifically, it's like, okay, this might be too much of a challenge for Kurtis. He's fighting a 5-0 guy from Extreme Couture. Like, this is no joke.
Like, I can't. This is a 2-0 guy fighting a 5-0 guy. You just don't do that. But I mean, you've been around the sport a long time, Jason. You know you don't do that. That's a crazy jump.
It was just money to me. You know, I come home from Thailand and I had a few staph infections and didn't spar well for a few times, and my head sort of fell off, and I had a good wake-up call and changed my mentality. And my dad was like, I know, but you're only 2-0, so that's like quite a big step up.
But this is what the fight looked like.
Oh, there's so much tension in this room right now. What a great fight we have on our hands. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in for this one. Blue corner tonight for Curtis Campbell.
Feeling that left hook, he went for it again.
Lovely
Huge
level
takedown.
change. Oh, that one almost cut him open.
From behind there, look
those
at
uppercuts. It's not a good position to be in. Lovely job with the body lock avoiding the spinning elbow. Fantastic
elbow from Perro,
yeah. Some good adjustments to this close range fighting. Lovely body kick again, but well caught there by Kurtis. He's holding on for dear life now. Kurtis.
Not quite locked in. He might actually have it now. He turned out of it. Wow. Sean Perro is durable. Wow.
1 minute 30 in this third round. Oh, great takedown. Sean back to the feet.
Oh!
Another takedown. That one looked like it hurt there as well. Variety of takedowns, but also...
Oh, that knee again.
The cardio, Jason, to just keep going with these takedowns over and over again. It's been a really dominant performance so far from Kurtis. He hasn't... I'm sure he wants a finish and he'll be hunting for one, but you can't get much more dominant than this. I mean, this might be an FCC record for takedowns. It's on the jaw, though, more on the neck. Good job pushing the hand up from Perro there. As Kurtis is doing the Nate Diaz and just flexing everybody. At the end of the fight, quite literally one of the best opponents you could have pulled to come up against Kurtis. Arguably a guy he shouldn't even have been fighting because, you know, 5-0 against 2-0.
You want to talk about somebody that has superstar potential.
Yeah.
Kurtis Campbell absolutely has
100%.
that. Yeah, there's definitely something going on here for him to do that. And he would quickly follow that up in the beginning of 2024.
Pink Panther mixing things up now. Another calf kick. Oh!
That's
it!
Called
it off! How does he make it look so easy?
Now at 4-0 with the stellar amateur career of 5 world titles, there was more than enough steam behind the Pink Panther to get his first pro title shot in FCC. And his opponent was a massive test. Coming out of Brazil at 5-0 as a star pupil of Yuri Carlton, who was the famed coach of JDS throughout his championship era, well, this was yet another huge test, and also against a fighter with more experience.
Even it was a really big step up in tests. Like, obviously Sean was 5-0, but just think where Lima come from. You know, it's especially just the favelas in its own. The fighting place, just like the way I say, this is a fighting city.
He was like ranked top 10 in his region in Brazil. Again, brilliant fight from a promotional perspective. Like, we've got 200-meter prospects here.
I said, but you bring the best. I said, don't short changes with any lesser fighters, let's put it that way. I said, we want the best.
And so with Yuri Carlton flying over to personally corner Mateusz Lima, there was a lot riding on this fight in either direction.
And the FCC Featherweight Championship is on the floor!
Starting out with some leg kicks, exchanging both sides. A catch there for Kurtis, trying to run it to the ground, ends up in full guard. Already that triangle's going up. Kurtis looks fine though, the elbow's still in, but the head is clear.
With these long limbs, he pointed down.
Exchanging.
He went for the oldest trick in the book. He literally pointed down and then went for a question mark kick.
Out there is Kurtis trying to advance inside
nice
there, lovely. Inside calf. Kurtis out of the way, turning side kick, another catch for Campbell. Gets the hands lock, takes him for a ride.
Poor kid got elbowed for about 15 minutes straight.
There's still wrist control on that left arm of Lima. That's keeping him here as Campbell drops the elbows over and over again.
He's got carried away, saw an opportunity there, just jumped a little too been up against because he's had massive elbows like that.
Right there as Lima's trying to walk forward with the knee. Blood running down the neck though of Kurtis Campbell.
Yeah, interesting. I think they're going to look at this cut and figure out.
Lima sticking his tongue out there. Did you see that? Sticking his tongue out at Campbell saying, now we're getting into a fight.
And he cut him, he ate him, give us that adversity, give us that different look to see where the kick could handle that.
He's smiling at me and I was like, trust me, this is like when he's the best and how things are going to get good because he'll express himself then.
And I was getting like a stupid adrenaline boost, like that second win sort, and I remember just smiling, laughing at him. So as much as the blood, you know, it makes it horrible, made it more exciting for me. That psychopathic switch.
Though address and complete another takedown.
And this is starting to look a little bit more like round one. These are big shots.
We did see this in round
decent.
And your FCC featherweight champion, the Pink Panther, Kurtis Campbell.
And again, Kurtis would follow that up with a quick finish over Austrian FC featherweight champion Daniel Matusic.
Defend himself from this ground and pound.
This could be it.
Matusic taking random shots. Another first round finish from Kurtis Campbell.
And FCC 41 in March of 2025, now standing tall at 6-0, with nobody who could really test him in all of those fights. Kurtis Campbell was up against another true threat, one with scary KO power, a top 10 level talent, and his own ground game credentials to contend with. Not to mention a bit of trash talking too.
É cara que tem grappling mediano. Não é bom de trocação e pela primeira vez ele vai pegar cara que é contundente para caralho.
Marcial is a bum.
Valerio had said that he had mediocre grappling. We're about to find out.
Valerio is
he's got it! He's got it! Still untested. Kurtis Campbell. No one has been able to test this man throughout his entire pro career, now 7-0. And so this is the way that Kurtis Campbell has left FCC. To chase his boyhood dreams in the world's biggest MMA promotion. Never once has anybody really been able to test him in his last 6 years of competition. He's finished nearly everybody he's come across in that amount of time. He's won 5 amateur world titles, a champion as a pro that has defended that title 2 times. He's already been highlighted by the UFC for several years as somebody to watch. It's fair to say the call to the Contender Series was just inevitable for quite some time.
Well, if the big man was watching right now, would you have a message for him?
Come on, big man, you know who I am. I know who you are.
Well then, so, yeah, what was your reaction when you found out the news?
We put our absolute heart and souls into this. We've done all of our role, they've done their, everyone's done their role, and then to actually be able to get the result that we were all working towards is, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was like.
Next year we can have another interview and then we'll say, we're closer, aren't we, to where we want to be, and then one day you'll sit here with the belt.
I think 3-4 years from now, I'll be doing the things that I've dreamed of as a kid. Let's fucking have it. That's all I have else to say.
And it's probably right around this point that there's something really worth mentioning. Over the past few years, I've gotten to know Kurtis, his family, his teammates, and the truth is, yeah, I'm having a hard time separating my bias on this one, and I fully embrace that. This is a passion piece. This is a fun thing that I'm making. I don't think that this video is going to get a ton of views because I'm talking about a prospect that frankly people don't know that much about yet. But I'm doing it because I want to. It's for the love of the game. It's for the appreciation of what I've seen inside the cage. And, you know, I might be an early person talking about this, but I think a lot more people will be talking about him soon. This is something I've always had a ton of interest in with this channel, highlighting future talents. And not to mention, he's such a good dude. It's hard not to root for the guy. It just is. And of course, let's be real about things. This is a violent sport. He could win and this incredible journey continues on, or he could just immediately lose and get sparked clean out. He's on the verge of jumping into a Shark Tank. Let's be real about that. I fully accept that and realize that this could go from that hopeful story to a devastating one, especially when he's up against such a scary guy coming out of EFC and Dembélé with very real KO power. It's yet another fun test for Kurtis. That being said, I do think Dembélé always appears to overcommit and does get taken down quite often, which also opens up opportunities on the feet. And this is something that we've seen Kurtis exploit in his opponents over and over in the past. So I think he's really well equipped for this test. I think it's a matchup that he'll do really well in. But of course, Dembélé has all the opportunity in the world to prove me wrong on Tuesday night. It is a fight and anything can happen. And so with that being said, guys, that is the end of my video here. I want to give a massive shout out to Kurtis himself, Jay, his father, Laws from Liverpool Combat Academy, Kyle Keane, of course, Adam and Molly from FCC. And yeah, I got to give a shout out to my boys as well, Alex being a part of this whole process and helping out. And of course, George for helping to set everything up and driving. It was just a really great team effort all around. And I'm super grateful to have done this, and I'm really happy to be making this video. So I hope you guys tune in on Tuesday. I'll actually be there. I'm flying over to Vegas. I'm gearing up for that right now. And so, yeah, I guess I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great day, and yeah, see you later. Peace.